Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Coach Ange, a spiritual life coach. On my channel, we talk about astrology, mindset, coaching, spirituality, and so much more. This is going to be the Scorpio Season Workshop. What we'll be talking about today is what you might be feeling during Scorpio season, what are some current astrological transits, as well as how you can utilize this energy, and 2 journal prompts that you can utilize during Scorpio season. This is a pay what you can type of workshop, so there is a link down below if you feel called to donate and support this channel. And lastly, before we get into it, please make sure to follow me across all socials. I'm at Coach Ange 222. So, Scorpio season. Scorpio is a fixed water sign. The dates for Scorpio season is going to be October 23rd to November 21st. Of course, depending on where you are in the world. Scorpio, known as like the scorpion, right? I always think of Scorpio as a fixed body of water. With that being said, Scorpios are very emotionally sensitive, intense. And when I say emotionally sensitive, I don't take it as a bad thing. It just means that Scorpios are very in tune with their emotions and they feel things very, very deeply. Therefore, they can love very deeply. But Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto. In modern astrology, traditionally, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, which is the planet of war and aggression. So sometimes people like to say that Scorpio is kind of like boiling water. It kind of sits and simmers and needs to kind of take a second before responding, right? So during Scorpio season, you might be feeling some more intense emotions, feeling the need to maybe disconnect. Scorpios don't just share anything with anybody. So the energy that you might be feeling is like, how can I make sure that I'm not just oversharing with everybody? Maybe I need to reflect, be a little bit more introspective. Think before I speak. Don't just kind of burst out and say something because, again, it's not a fire sign, it's a water sign. So there are going to be a little bit heavier emotions attached when it is a water sign, especially a fixed water sign. So what I mean by fixed is these are the modalities, right? So in the zodiac wheel, if you would, there's cardinal signs, fixed signs, and mutables. Fixed just means it's sandwiched between cardinal and mutable, basically saying there's not really much room for like the change and the shift. Cardinal energy is very trailblazer, mutable is very flexible. So fixed is kind of in that middle, landlocked, if you would. So they can be kind of stuck in their ways. So you might also be feeling a little bit stubborn and very much like, this is what I like and that's it. I'm not going to change it. That's very normal because, again, that's just the energy collectively. But you might be feeling this even more so if you have major placements in Scorpio, which could be your sun, your moon, your rising, or your Mars, your Mercury, or your Venus in your birth chart. Which, just a heads up, if you're ever curious about how to look up your birth chart, you just need the location of your birth and the time of your birth. There are so many different places that you can take a look at this for free, different apps and different websites that you can take a look at this that will give you your specific birth chart if you're ever wondering on how to look this up. Current astrological transits that are going to be happening during Scorpio season. We are going to have a Mercury retrograde. I know, big and scary, but it's okay. It's not going to last too long. And the cool thing is Mars and Mercury are currently in Scorpio when I record this video at the very beginning of Scorpio season, but they will be moving into Sagittarius, a fiery mutable sign, which is going to have you feeling like I'm ready to take some action after taking time to reflect in Scorpio season. After Mars and Mercury being in the sign of Scorpio, where I wanted to really sit and reflect, and now it's time to move forward. So this is really good for everyone as a collective, and especially if you have placements in Sagittarius. Mercury retrograde is basically going to challenge, communication, because Mercury is the planet of communication. It's like cross your T's, dot your I's kind of thing. Overlook contracts, really double check on your travel plans. Now is not the time to just like send something out and not spell check it. This is when you really have to hone in on like really making sure that you are on top of it, because when Mercury is in retrograde, it really affects everyone in the ways that they communicate, especially if you have major placements that are ruled by Mercury, which would be Gemini and Virgo. But again, this is collective energy. There is a Pisces stellium in the sky as well. A stellium just means that there's 3 or more placements in one sign. And so there are quite a bit of placements in Pisces, which would be Saturn, the North Node, and Neptune are all in Pisces at the moment. Of course, the moon goes through at some point, but the moon moves very quickly. So I don't even want to like throw that in there. These are more like longer term transit. The thing is, Uranus has been in Gemini for quite some time, and it actually is going to retrograde and dip back into the sign of Taurus until April of 2026. So that's just something to be mindful of. Uranus is going to be one of the outer planets, so it's not as like heavy and impacting, say like the moon or Mercury, but it is something just to be mindful of because that is a slower transit, so it can have some like longer lasting effects. So just a heads up there as well. Last but not least, 2 journal prompts that you can utilize during Scorpio season. First one being, am I listening and trusting my intuition? When we think about the intuition, it should feel like a friendly little nudge, not anxiety. It should not feel dysregulating to the nervous system. It should feel like, hey, I have this voice inside of me, or something inside of me, or something in my gut keeps kind of like nudging me. If anything, It should feel like a warm hug once you do finally listen to your intuition, and it feels like you're coming back into yourself and back into alignment, and not something that's freaking you out and scaring you. That's a little bit more of the anxiety, if you would. So there's that first journal prompt. Second journal prompt will be, are there any unresolved feelings that I need to address? With that being said, again, Scorpio is a very deep feeling type of emotional sign because it is a water sign and a fixed water sign. So if you have any feelings that you've been kind of pushing off, now's the time to really feel them. And again, feel the feels. Really just sit in, what is this? Don't drown in them, but sit with it and just say, have I been avoiding these feelings? Have I been putting them off? Now's the time to really sit with that and just address what it is head on, so that, again, once we hit Sagittarius season, we are ready to just go and not still feel like I'm in some big inner turmoil that you just never had, addressed. As always, I try and keep these workshops really bite-sized, short, and easy to digest. If you have any questions, please let me know. If any of this has resonated with you, or you're already feeling a shift happening inside of you during the Scorpio season, please let me know as well. Or if you're a Scorpio yourself and you just had a birthday, I'd love to know, what is your birthday? Please comment down below so that we can all say happy birthday. That is it for the Scorpio Season Workshop. I hope you have an amazing rest of this season. As always, please like and subscribe. And again, follow me across all socials at Coach Ange222. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see y'all next time in the Sagittarius Season Workshop. Bye.